Multitasking feels really productive, but in reality, it does nothing for you. And think about it, you know it doesn't do anything for you. You know that's the reason your work is so mediocre. And that's why you clicked on this. You know low-key your multitasking isn't as productive as you make it out to be. When I'm referring to multitasking, I'm not talking about true multitasking such as brushing your teeth and walking around. I'm talking about most people's definition of multitasking, where you do one action such as like clean your room, and you do a second action such as be on your phone or text someone, and then switch back and forth quickly. In reality, what you're doing is you're doing one thing, taking a break, switching, doing that for a little bit, switching back to your other one, and you call that multitasking. Now, it's super common. Other times we like to tell ourselves, nah, I'm multitasking because I got to be more efficient, quicker, more productive. It'll help me get things done, and I'll be able to have more free time in the end. In reality, does not work. I'll tell you exactly how to actually get rid of this whole multitasking thing. Use something that's more effective, and it's going to help you produce actual quality good work. You're going to, number one, finish things a lot faster, have more free time, do true work, and fix your attention span at the same time, because multitasking in this very poor fashion that we like to do actually ends up messing with your attention span, because you're not completing things. You're just half-assing everything pretty much. The first thing that multitasking does that's terrible for you, right? At least this version that we like to call it. Pretty much your work, all the work that you end up doing is trash. Let's be real here. It's trash, and I know it because I've done it for a very long time. Work was very mediocre. It sucked. And the reason why is since you're multitasking and doing multiple things at one time, or you think you are, you're really just switching. Your attention is not fully focused on that one thing. So if you're only focused on one thing and you actually complete it fully, you're gonna be able to have like much higher quality work while you're finishing that. So for example, let's say after like that drawing over there, right? If I just focused on that, only on that, the quality of that drawing is gonna be a lot better than if I had, done that and then at the same time I was multitasking and I was also like, doing some research or like reading a book on the side and trying to just quickly switch through those two things. Maybe I was also talking to somebody while I was doing that, but I kept looking at them, going back, I'm multitasking, but in reality, I'm getting less quality work done. Instead, if I just focused on that drawing and really locked in, then it turns out pretty nice, So you can literally take that and apply it to any part of your life. You'll notice that when you quote unquote multitask, your work ends up becoming very mediocre. You get worse results. If you're someone that actually cares about completing things and getting better and improving yourself, this is going to help you out a lot. Multitasking is really going to end up it's like you're pretty much just shooting yourself in the foot by doing it. Problem with it as well is when you multitask, right? In your mind, you think you're doing all this work, right? Because you're doing like maybe trying to juggle 2 or 3 things at one time. Because you think you're doing all this work, your mind will actually get more fatigued because of that. Compared to if you're just doing one thing, your mind's like, okay, cool, we're doing this, we finished it. Oh, that wasn't too bad. We can go ahead and finish all the other things. Instead, when you're trying to multitask, your mind processes, oh crap, we're doing like 1, 2, or 3 things. Dang. So it'll feel a lot more tired and a lot more than just doing one. So pretty much any time that you multitask, when you do the things, you're actually going to end up taking a lot more time than if you just focused on one thing. Attention span is going to decrease because you're completing everything halfway. So you're just leaving that there. So it's like, instead of just fully processing everything, you're switching to something else like that, right? And then you're going back. So think of it like when you're watching a TikTok, right? You're scrolling down a TikTok, short, whatever. People can't even watch the full TikTok. They quickly swipe up because you get that dopamine of seeing something new, especially if you get bored quickly. So think of it like that same kind of concept. You're doing something, most of the time we're either bored, trying to be more productive, quicker, faster, and you switch from doing one thing to another and then coming back to it. That's just gonna mess your attention span up. Create that bad habit of doing that. Trust me, you wanna cut that off. The reason I'm telling you this and the reason you know it's true is because the same thing has happened to me. I'd always multitask, and in my head, I would tell myself, yeah, I'm doing this to be more efficient. In reality, I was just bored. I didn't want to fully complete everything, and it just felt a little easier, if I'm being honest, just multitasking, because doing 2 or 3 things at once I get bored of doing this thing, I'll quickly switch to that thing, coping by saying that I'm being more productive. In reality, I know I wasn't. So to give you an example, let's say that I was cleaning my room, right? I was cleaning my apartment. So instead of starting like, okay, let's clean my room first. Once I clean my room, I can do my bathroom. Then once I do my bathroom, I can do my living room, and so on and so forth, right? Instead of doing that, what I would do, right, is so dumb now that I'm looking back at it. I would clean my room, and as I clean my room, I'd be like, oh, okay, I forgot that I had to also, sweep this part of the living room. So I'd go to the living room, and I'd quickly come back and try to do this all at once. But then I realized I forgot something in the living room, so I'd go back. The time I went back, I would literally forget what I was trying to do. So in reality, I was just going back and forth, and I'm like, oh, I forgot completely what I was gonna do. And I'd remember something that popped into my mind. I'm like, oh, I have to answer this text message for my friend. Then I'd go and I'd answer the text message, and by the time I realized it, I've wasted so much time. And I noticed because when I saw other people clean, they clean a lot faster than me. And it's not because they're quicker, they're like more agile, because I'm pretty quick and agile too. It's just because I'm not completing one task at a time, fully locking in, completing it, and then moving on to the next one is what would cause me to, I feel mentally fatigued. The work was watered down. The cleaning was not that great. And I lost time and productivity. The easiest way to literally just fix this is just whatever you do one thing at a time. You're gonna fully complete that thing. To complete that, then you'll move on to the next thing, right? It sounds super simple, but it goes over a lot of our heads nowadays. What you're gonna do, right, is just go ahead and, like I mentioned, do one thing. So for example, let's say we're cleaning the apartment, clean the room first. And once you're done with the room, then you can worry about the next task. Now you're probably thinking, well, if I don't, kind of multitask or really get on it, I'm gonna forget what I have to do next. So what you do to fix that is just whip out your phone, because all of us have them. You're gonna go in the notes and you're gonna type in a quick to-do list of what you have to do. Like start off with the most important, and then you can put the least important at the bottom of the list. And then you can just go and check it off. But don't worry about the next thing until you fully complete the task. This is gonna save you a lot of time because you're not gonna be, going from here to back and then forgetting everything. You can go down the list. Then you're, number one, gonna get much better work. You are going to not feel as mentally fatigued. You're actually gonna end up saving a lot more time. And just give it a try. If you don't believe me, just give this a shot. See that your productivity is gonna skyrocket. Your work is gonna be a lot higher quality. And just, literally do not cope. If you're someone that really thinks that, just really be honest with yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one that benefits the most cutting out these bad habits. Most of the time, we're not conscious about it. We're not aware that this is happening. And because we're not aware that this is happening, we can't fix it. But now you're aware of it. So you can make a mental note. And then eventually it will become a habit. You've built a good habit and you don't have to worry about it anymore. So I hope this helps.